segue to one of the biggest stories of the day. This happened late yesterday, but I was in the midst of doing what I do, so I figured we cover it today. Rumors were going around. Well, first of all, we knew Warner Bros. Was up for sale. For those unaware, Warner Bros. Is one of the big three Hollywood studios. It's Warner Bros., Sony, Paramount. Those three companies hold all the largest IPs in film. But Warner Bros., you know, they've fallen on hard times. I'm not gonna lie. They're not a little, they're a lot of poor. Which is fascinating considering Warner Bros. Has some of the most historic IPs in the world, but they just keep fucking it up. I can't speak too much to what's going on in film. I mean, I know they just had Superman, that was successful, but outside of that, I don't know what else has been successful for them. Shout out to Mexican Hustler with the 5 gifted subs. What I can talk about, because this is a gaming space, is the gaming side of Warner Bros. Has not been very good. In the last 10 years, they've taken a lot of L's. In the last 10 years, they've only gotten one major W, and that has been, what's the name? Harry Potter, the Hogwarts Legacy. But other than that, Suicide Squad killed the Justice League, Multiverses, what's the name being Wonder Woman being canceled, but I'm trying to forget. Oh, Mortal Kombat 1 was a failure. That was a flop for Mortal Kombat. Gotham Knights, they just been putting out L after L after L after L. Shadow of War was a hit. When did Shadow of War come out? Was that how? Shadow of War. What's the release date? 2017. Okay, I guess you can count that because we're 2 years. I mean, that was 8 years ago. But yeah, if you want to count Shadow of War, you know what? And you know what's funny? I'm gonna give it a half W. I can't even give it a full-blown W because let's not forget the drama surrounding this game. This was almost 10 years ago, and let's not forget when the game came out, it was ruined by microtransactions. So it depends on who you ask. At its core, it was a good game, but let's not forget they fucked this game up. So I don't know if we can really count this one, man. That last third of the game was horrible, bro. It was super grindy. You could tell that they were trying to get you to buy microtransactions, man. Shadow of Mordor 2. Well, that goes without saying, but Shadow of Mordor would definitely be 10 years because Shadow of War is the sequel. But anyways, that's not the point. The point is Warner Bros. Is not in great financial shape. So in the past week, a story came out that they're looking to sell. Rumor was Paramount had their hand in it. The Saudi investment firm had their hand in it, as well as Netflix. And it looks like, and because, you know, people are spreading misinformation. This deal is not 100% gone through. Yo, shout out to Majin with the $10 super chat. Appreciate you. We have a top bidder. There has been a handshake because I know motherfuckers don't read articles. Netflix and Warner Bros. Have reached a tentative agreement, meaning they dapped each other up. And now they're trying to work out the details, but there are people that are trying to block this. I've seen some senators arguing antitrust, you know, monopoly. Paramount is really pissed. They're trying to make an even bigger bid, but it's looking like Netflix is going to get Warner Bros. Here, I don't talk too much about film, just a little bit. I mainly talk about gaming, and it's going to affect it. But first, let's talk about this buyout as a whole, because I personally don't think this is a good thing. I think more competition is always better. And with Netflix has proven that they're not a pro-consumer company. I mean, they don't like you sharing accounts. Every year they jack up the price. I don't think their original content has gotten better over the years. I still feel like they peaked with that era of Orange is the New Black, House of Cards, Narcos. I feel like around that time of Narcos, that's when they were really like at their peak, and they've dropped hits since because you got Stranger Things as well. But like they don't consistently drop bangers. I feel like it's just kind of like every once in a while, and then they're constantly moving the library around. They just become what once used to be a cheap alternative to Blockbuster and Hollywood Video has become a nuisance, and also the spawn of a bunch of other streaming apps that none of us can afford. And that's why a lot of us are searching for One Piece. So I don't think this is good with them buying out Warner Bros. Potentially, because it's going to give them even more power. And I think it also shifts the conversation to, does this mean it's a new big three of Paramount, Sony, and Netflix if they're absorbing Warner Bros? I don't know. K-pop Demon Hunter is pretty big, and Squid Game's all. Well, yeah, they're big. Yeah, you're right. They're big. They're big. Maybe in my personal taste, I feel like it peaked for me. But K-pop Demon Hunters and Squid Games, I'm not the demographic, but I'll give them that. Yeah, those are bangers. They are popular. But anyways, let's read about it. Netflix's $82 billion acquisition of Warner Bros. In many ways, the last thing weakened Hollywood needs right now. The industry still recovering from COVID-19 pandemic, where theaters were forced to close. The audience became even more comfortable with streaming film at home. The WGA and the SGA strikes in 2023, which were driven by legitimate concerns around studio interest in generative AI, delayed production and promotion of many films and TV projects. And the rise of streaming content pushed many media companies towards taking depth and unwise mergers. That's why we've had all these goddamn apps right there that they're mentioning. How can a troubled media company survive today? The answer seems to further consolidate. Amazon's $8.4 billion MGM takeover in 2022 heralded further deals like Skydance's $8 billion acquisition of Paramount, but Netflix's WB deal goes even further. It could fundamentally reshape the media industry as we know it, from theatrical moviegoing to existence of physical games, including physical media, including games, which I'm going to get to. What will the Netflix and Warner Bros. Deal include? After next year's already announced separation of Warner Bros. And Discovery, Netflix says it plans to acquire all of Warner Bros. Remaining assets, including its film and TV studios, HBO Max and HBO, for $82 billion. So HBO went from HBO Max to now Netflix. Like, they've changed their name like 3 or 4 times in the last 5 years. It's fucking annoying, bro. According to game developer representatives, also say Warner Bros. Games, which also includes Mortal Kombat developer NetherRealm, will also be part of the deal. Another reason I think this is potentially bad is it just gives them too much power. I could see them using this as an excuse to basically say, oh, we just spent $80 billion. Woe is us, man. We're going to need to re-up that. So we're increasing the price from $20 to $30 a month if you want to stream our shows. But hey, don't worry, you can get that Warner Bros. Content, and maybe we'll bring back multiverses for smartphones or something. Oh my God. Will the Netflix and Warner Bros. Deal be approved by regulators? Even before the deal was formally announced, it was clear that whoever bought WB would be facing government opposition from every side due to monopoly. Yesterday, Paramount sent a WB a letter questioning the fairness and adequacy of the acquisition bidding process. Afterwards, the New York Post reported that Paramount CEO, son of Trump boosting Oracle CEO Larry Ellison, met with the administration's officials to make his case for buying Netflix. As of this morning, the Trump administration news views the Netflix WB deal with heavy skepticism. That's right, guys. The White House wants their hands even more in Hollywood. Because I sure was about to say, before I even knew this and read this, I was about to say, it doesn't matter who wins this. It doesn't matter if it's Netflix or Paramount. It's going to be bad either way. It's too much power. Like in businesses always, a sector in business always thrives when there's 3 or more competitors. There will always be like the 2 main, and then you have like a strong third option. An example being like comic books. You got DC, Marvel, and the strong third option is Image, although I think Image in terms of quality is better than Marvel right now. Another conversation for another day. And then you also have Boom, you have Dark Horse, you have all these other different competitors. You always want more, but a big 3, you always want that at least to keep things. And that's why I said y'all should not be rooting for the downfall of Xbox, regardless of how you do not want Sony to be the only one in charge. And I have an article explaining why later, but we're gonna get to that later. But anyways, on the other side of the aisle, Senator Elizabeth Warren has called the Netflix WB deal an anti-monopoly nightmare. She added, a Netflix Warner Bros. Would create one massive media giant with control of close to half of the streaming market. It could force you into higher prices, fewer choices over what and how to watch, and may put American workers at risk. Yeah. People are going to lose their jobs, higher prices. And like I said, it doesn't matter who this goes to. This is a nightmare. It's going to give somebody way too much power. Because on the opposite end of the spectrum, if it goes to this investment group that's affiliated with Trump, who's to say they're not going to use these Hollywood tools for propaganda? They're already doing it. They're already doing with that PragerU shit, where they're trying to rewrite slavery, saying, oh, slavery wasn't that bad because, I don't know if y'all saw the cartoon. They had a fucking conquistador on the cartoon talking to kids, talking about, oh, slavery wasn't that bad because, you know, being in chains is better than, you know, than death or some shit like that. I'm like, no, nigga, I'd rather die than be a slave. What the fuck are you talking about, bro? What does the Netflix and Warner Bros. Deal mean for streaming video? And you know the crazy part is, I'm sitting here bitching. I don't know the solution to this. Because I also don't think a bailout is the solution either. I don't want to pay for this shit. Maybe they should have did like a fire sale. Like sell off each individual IP or something like that instead of the entire fucking catalog. But anyways, according to the data from Just Watch, a combined Netflix and HBO would account for 33% of US streaming's video market, putting it ahead of Prime Video's 21% share. As of how the two media companies will coexist, Netflix says it will maintain Warner Bros. Current businesses, which includes HBO Max and HBO, theatrical releases for films, as well as movie and TV operations. I hope at bare minimum what I'm talking about is like planting a seed for some of y'all that don't understand why no one man should have all that power. Because once a little bit of that power dissolves, it becomes a power vacuum and we all get fucking fucked. What about DC Comics? I don't know, is DC Comics separate from Warner Bros? I know Warner Bros has the movies and the TV rights and like the video games, but I don't know if the books are under that umbrella as well. But that is a good question. I'm not sure about that one. We think it's too early to talk specifics about how we're going to tailor this offering for consumers. Netflix co-CEO Greg Peters said in an investment call this morning when asked if HBO would remain a separate service. Needless to say, we think the HBO brand is very powerful and would constitute part of our plan for consumers that gives us a lot of options to figure out how to package things for the best option for consumers. Dog, I've been saying these niggas just need to leave their IPs for cheap. Like, yeah, they might do a fire sale to the best bidders or something. I thought Tubi unironically would get a decent chunk of the market. Hey, Tubi's how I watch the Super Bowl, man. At the very least, we can expect increased prices across the board for HBO and Netflix. There's also potential for the company to offer combination subscriptions similar to Disney and Disney Plus and Hulu and ESPN. Isn't that crazy? This company chose to spend $80 billion and somehow it's our problem. At the very least, expect increased prices. And I agree. They're going to try to justify buying this big ass batch of IPs and then they're going to increase the price. That's how they're going to justify it. It's bro, you chose to do that. And this is why I've seen a lot of videos about piracy recently. In short, a combined Netflix WB wouldn't be great for theaters. Previous mergers like Disney and Fox's union led to fewer theatrical releases, not more. Since its transformation into a streaming first company, Netflix has also been primarily focused on increasing subscriptions and engagement, with theatrical releases of its original content treated as an afterthought. Me personally, I'm old. I still enjoy going to the movie theater for certain movies. I'm not trying to pay $50 a month for fucking Netflix and then maybe get a movie here and there. I'd rather just go to the movie theaters and pay for what the fuck I want to see. And also get the movie experience, because I feel like movies are better with a bigger screen, the surround sound. I don't know, even though the popcorn overpriced is better at the movie, at least mine. I don't know about y'all. Y'all might be dry, but I don't know. Shout out to Teddy with the sub. Shout out to RGZ with the sub. Appreciate it. The new American way is privatize the profits and socialize the experience. Terrible. It's terrible. We've released about 30 films into theaters this year, so it's not like we have opposition to theatrical release. Netflix's co-CEO Ted Sandro said in the investor call, it's the longer windows that aren't consumer friendly. Life cycles that start in the movie theater will continue that. Over time, the windows will evolve to be much more consumer friendly to meet the audience where we are. So I feel like my music's a little too loud. He's letting you know what it is right now. He's letting you know what it is right now. He's saying, oh, we won't 100% remove movies from movie theaters, but if we're going to buy all these IPs, we might put it in the movie theater for a week. And then after that, if you don't see it in the movie theater, you need to subscribe to our service. He's making it known right there. The life cycles that start in the movie theaters will continue that over time. The windows will evolve to be more consumer friendly. And look how they use corporate talk to try to fool people. This is propaganda. Try to fool you into thinking this is a good deal for you, when no, the competition is a good deal. So if you don't understand why this is a big deal, it's not just that like they're removing it out of the movie theater and they're removing the experience. This could fuck up the job market on a deeper level. TBH, not talking about the politics and shit. Like this could fuck up the job market, because if they're pulling all of their movies out of the movie theater, or they're shortening the theatrical releases to only a week or two, That means less revenue, less foot traffic is going to Regal, AMC, whatever mom and pop movie theater you go to, which means they can't afford to pay their employees or keep the lights on, and people are going to lose their jobs. He added, all things that are going to theaters through WB will continue to do so. Our primary goal is to bring first-run movies to consumers, and we intend to continue that. In an April interview at the Time 100 Summit, Sandros also famously called the theatrical model outdated, since most people in the US can't easily walk to a multiplex. Shut the fuck up, bruh. Who's worried about walking to a multiplex? I drive to the movie theater. If I want to see a movie, I'm gonna see a movie. So I feel like the writing's right there. I feel like the writing is right there. I'm not going to read the rest of this because I kind of want to. The reason I even wanted to bring this up is I wanted to talk about the gaming aspect of it. We need to get to this part, bro. Shout out to Treason with the $5 super chat. He said Warner Bros. And Netflix just has licensings from DC for shows and movies and games. Don't think they can absolutely do anything with the characters. So it's just, that's what I thought. It's just licensings, but they don't 100% own it. Okay. So let's talk about the gaming side of things, because under Warner Bros., they have the license to the games. Netflix has announced it's acquiring Warner Bros. Deal for $82 billion. But let's get to the gaming side of this. So Warner Bros. Game Studios includes the likes of, it's the former half of the Netflix is set to acquire, with the transaction closing 12 to 18 months once the split takes place, subject to regulatory approvals. That's why I said it hasn't 100% gone through. The Fed's got to agree to let it fly. At the time of the split announcement, the CEO of Warner Bros. And Discovery said it will invigorate each company by enabling them to leverage their strengths and specific financial profiles. This will also allow each company to pursue important investment opportunities and drive shareholder value. Warner Bros. Game Studios includes the likes of Rocksteady from the Arkham series, NetherRealm with Mortal Kombat, and Avalanche Studios with Hogwarts Legacy. It's currently unknown how the gaming division of Warner Bros. Will be impacted by the Netflix acquisition. While gaming isn't mentioned specifically in the Netflix press release, games and consumer products and experiences were included during a webcast on the news, so they own it. Well, they will own it if this gets approved in the next 12 months. Hogwarts Legacy at the least was a huge revenue driver, and a sequel is extremely likely, while DC fans will surely be hopeful. Rocksteady is reportedly working on a new Batman game to follow, and that's the thing that they showed right there. Our mission has always been to entertain the world, said the CEO of Netflix, by combining Warner Bros. Incredible library of shows and movies from timeless classics and blah, blah, blah. I don't care about none of this. Let's talk about the gaming shit, man. All right, so I wanted to bring this up on the gaming side of things because this worries me. They own some of the biggest IPs in the gaming space. And we could see a universe where if the licenses carry over and they go to Netflix, oh my God. Y'all thought these fucking Warner Bros. Games were bad now? You thought Suicide Squad was bad now? Oh, they're gonna get worse. So for those unaware, Netflix has a gaming division, and it's fucking terrible. If you open up the Netflix app, there's a section in there where you can play games like Street Fighter 4 and a bunch of random mobile, Stranger Things mobile. They have their own dev teams, and they just make terrible fucking... Yesterday, I said I feel like the word slop gets used too much. This would be the correct time to use it. Netflix slop. They just make a bunch of random shitty mobile games that tie in with their popular TV shows. Just random 2D platformer Metroidvania games and shit that nobody fucking asked for. That got the popular characters in it. And I put a tweet out of why I'm worried about this. Well, actually, no, let me get in there. World-renowned content creator, the Black Okage, responded to this by saying, I pray but doubt Netflix allows WB Game Studios to maintain creative control for a couple reasons. Yes, he wants them to have creative control, but they might lose it with Netflix being in charge and them having their own gaming division. Because for those unaware, whenever there's new ownership in town, usually they clean house in the upper management because the CEOs and the CFOs want to take control of everything and establish their own company culture. I said, hey, WB executives were ruining their studios' visions by making them do live service games. One of the reasons why WB is in the situation that they're in is because the executives at WB Games didn't understand the gaming space. I can't speak for the movie side, but on the gaming side, they didn't understand the space. They were just like Sony Interactive. They kept saying, we want more live service, more live service, more live service. And a lot of their games flopped because of it. Gotham Knights, fucking Suicide Squad. If you haven't read the reports, originally Rocksteady did not want to make Suicide Squad. They were forced to make it because the publisher was footing the bill, and they said, we want a game that we could milk over the next 10 years. So if it seemed like it was out of place, and then the worst part is Rocksteady has to eat the brunt of the hate. But if you're wondering why that game felt so out of place for Rocksteady, it's because they didn't want to make it in the first place. So they were lacking creative control. And it's interesting too, because Rocksteady has produced plenty of bangers for WB. I don't know why they don't just let them be. The one thing I will give to EA is EA does let, at least with Respawn, they let Respawn do whatever the fuck they want. They give DICE good creative control as well. As long as your game is selling well, if it's not, they're gonna cut you off. Anyways, and then B, and shout out to Firelord Rome with the sub. Because Netflix games division is ass. Nobody's trying to play their shitty mobile games. Exactly. I'm worried they're going to turn all the, like, imagine a world where they resurrect that canceled Wonder Woman game, but it's coming exclusively to the Samsung Galaxy S3. That's an awful world that I don't want to live in. Batman Arkham Mobile, where it's a Batman Arkham game on mobile phones. But it's not an open world Batman game. It's called Batman Arkham Mobile because it's a double entendre, because it takes place on mobile phones, but it's also an endless runner like Temple Run, but instead Batman's in the Batmobile and you have to basically avoid obstacles so the Batmobile doesn't blow up to try to get the highest score. Imagine that. Netflix is just not proven they know what they're doing. So I don't want them touching any of these games. Mortal Kombat is already in a bad place. NetherRealm is not. We need Injustice 3 and we need them to be on their P's and Q's. We don't need them coming in. You said stop giving them ideas. I'm just talking. We don't need them to come in and fuck up Injustice 3 if it ever happens. And this is why it's worrisome from a gaming standpoint, but also, like I said, overall from a business standpoint. It's bad for the consumers because it's going to jack up the price of everything. People could potentially lose their jobs. They're pulling away for us to even view the media. That'll be one less. They're basically completely in control of the media. It's just too much. It's a bad situation. And I'm gonna be honest, like I said earlier, this is one of those rare situations. I don't know the solution. Because if these assets go to any other company, it doesn't change the fact that it's still too much power for one man because Warner Bros. Owns so much. But also, I don't want to see a bailout. Us, the American people, should not be paying for Warner Bros. Mistakes because them niggas, don't forget that shit. Them niggas chose to make Suicide Squad, not me. So I don't know what the fucking solution is. All I know is I think there's a high probability the concept of Cyberpunk 2077 is only getting closer. You will rent everything and you will own nothing. And Netflix is gonna, I feel like Netflix is really the embodiment of you either die a hero or you live long enough to become the villain. Because in the beginning, Netflix was the hero that took on the juggernaut that was Blockbuster, and they added so much value to us because for $8 a month, you could watch everything. And then Hollywood saw how much money they were making and they pulled their properties off. They stopped licensing to Netflix. They started creating original properties, doing all this other stuff, and then they started regaining power. Now they pulling the account sharing, they buying up studios, and it could be a situation where, you know, a company that started off very pro-consumer is about to become anti-consumer, bro. Yeah, WB owns DC. They own the comics. DC Comics is a part of Warner Bros. Oh my God. We could see a situation where Netflix is like, hey, we see that Absolute Batman is one of the best-selling books of the year. For those unaware, not best comic book. Absolute Batman is in the top 10, I think it's in the top 5 New York best-selling books of the year. I can see a universe where Netflix is like, hey, we know there's only one story arc done in Absolute Batman with the Bane stuff. We haven't even fully, at this point of this stream, we haven't even fully introduced Absolute Joker, but let's go ahead and make a video game about it. Nah. As much as I like that shit, I like the story. No, we need more story arcs. Let's not, I can see them trying to milk it. And then they'll be like, they could ruin the writing because they'll be like, all right, so I got a concept. We know Absolute Batman's not done, but let's make an Absolute Arkham. and we need to intertwine it with the comic books. So like the story needs to coincide with one another where they're influencing each other. And now the book is getting fucked up. And it's a mobile game. And it's a mobile game on top of that. Yeah, they're going to pull a Crunchyroll. Yeah, Crunchyroll doing that goofy shit too, man. They also can foot the bill for a well-animated Absolute Batman show. Best case scenario. To be fair, yeah. And you know what? To be fair, maybe Netflix has our best interest at heart. Maybe this is a situation where Netflix is the Costco of media, where they're gonna buy up WB, they're gonna save the IPs, and they're just gonna do everything great by the book. They're not gonna increase the price. Matter of fact, they're gonna drop the price. They're gonna take their time and create original shows and movies based off Warner Bros. Comics. Maybe in games, maybe that could happen. But I'm not gonna lie, I give that a 10% chance, man. I give that a 10% chance. Yeah, that's gonna be wishful thinking. The good news is it's gonna take, like they said, 12 to 18 months to see how this fully plays out. Because this has to pass through and get approved, because this is such a big merger. The government has to approve this shit. So it could get denied. But even still, like if it gets denied, it could go to Paramount, and that could be worse. It could become a propaganda machine. Because a lot of people who are affiliated with Paramount are affiliated with the White House. We could have a situation where, remember Absolute Batman from last month, annual #1? What up, Dooms? Where he's fighting and beating up the Klans members. They could be like, yo, burn all those books. We're going to rewrite that one. And instead, we're going to make Absolute Batman a Klan member. And we're going to animate it. We're going to have him deporting people. Oh, my Lord, man. Oh, my God, man. I hope people understand this is why. At bare minimum, to bring it back to the consumer side of things, what I will say is this is why it's important to support the things that you like. Obviously, everybody's on a budget. You can't buy everything. But if there's something if there's art that you genuinely like, support it so that these companies don't go out of business and they need a fucking Obama bailout. Yeah, Paramount is MAGA'd out. Yeah, we would get MAGA Batman, bruh. They changed his suit from black to red, white, and blue. His axe would be red, white, and blue. For those who haven't read Absolute Batman, the bat symbol on his chest, it transforms into an axe that he pulls out. They'd make it red, white, and blue. And when he pulls it out, an eagle will fly by and screech and shit. Like, oh my Lord, bro. Get this corny shit out of my fucking face, man. Gonna have Batman takes Hogwarts. Why is this shit like in fucking England and shit? Why can't Hogwarts be in Ohio? Like, oh my Lord. Instead, and like, let's change it to where they're not riding brooms. Like, let's do Quidditch in the Ford F-150, because like fossil fuels, clean oil, right? MAGA man, he'll be Owlman type shit. So yeah, that's what's going on. We will be keeping an eye. We will be keeping an eye on this story, how it's going to be turning out, because like I said, it's going to take another 12 to 18 months for this deal to go through. But right now, at this point in time, December 15th, 2025, there is a handshake. It is a halfway done deal. This will be interesting. You said, what was I thinking about in this profile picture? Eating pussy. No, I'm playing. No sex before marriage. I made that up. I would never do that. Console has been announced for 2XKO. Console update. Let's see. Is Black Hokage Clips page ran by you? Yeah, that's me. I made that one. That one is me. Let me turn this. I have no presence. I have no presence on Twitter, so I made a clip page and I have an automation system posting there, because like Twitter's a good place to go viral, but the problem is I don't want clips all over my main Twitter page, so I made a separate one. And then, you know, every once in a while I'll retweet it or whatever. So if you want to follow it and support it, cool. But it's really just to try to garner a new audience. I just didn't want that shit all over my main feed. If I have something to say, I don't want to get lost with a bunch of clips. Let's get it. That I don't know, Ab.
Jeff jumps in and the mushroom gets the KO. What just happened? I had no idea you could pop off like that, Jeff.
The creator of the Game Awards, Jeff Keighley.
I've been basing 2x KO from how much Trey plays it. He does not play it. So you saying it's ass? That's funny.
Right, we've got some news for y'all. Hey everyone.
To be fair, Trey always rage quits every fighting game whenever he hits his ceiling. Whenever he starts running into people who are just as good as him, that's when he starts calling the game trash, to be fair.
Free-to-play 2v2 fighting game. We're honored to be nominated for Best Fighting Game at the Game Awards, and we're ready to announce a big update for console players. 2XKO is coming to Xbox Series X and S and PlayStation 5 in January 2026.
There you go. So literally next month, if you've been looking forward to this game, it's been exclusive to PC. It's coming to console, baby.
To everybody who's been waiting for this, we are so excited to finally make it happen. And we've got one more thing to share. Tune in to the Game Awards on December 11th to get a first
One Punch
look at
Man.
the next 2XKO champion. Thanks again and see you at the
It's funny because somebody in the chat literally just said that there's a lack of characters. They're announcing 2 more characters at the Game Awards.
show.
What League of Legends characters y'all think they're gonna have? They're gonna add, I mean. Yo, this design on this character, this wolf dude looks cool. Is that Finra? I don't play League. Is that what's his name? They need the only League of Legends character I know is Master Yi, because that's the only one I played. My 2 days of playing that game is Warwick. Maybe I'll try Warwick out. They need to add Master Yi. He got a sword. I need him Bessie from Arcane. They need to add Fiddlesticks, Wolverine looking combo. So yeah, it's coming to console. And the best part about it is, for those unaware, 2XKO is free to play. It features a new updated version of rollback netcode, rollback 2.0. That's being helmed by the same people that made the original, the Cannon brothers. So like they're improving it. So like don't act like there's nothing to play. Next month there will be a free game. And people seem to be loving it so far. They need to add the original champions first, to be honest. I don't think they'll do it that way. I think what they'll do is they'll go by, because the thing about the fighting games is like you have to put these combos in and balance the game out a lot. I think they're going to go by the most popular characters probably. They might throw in a dark horse here and there, but they're probably going to stick to, because it doesn't League have like 5,000 characters at this point. They're probably going to stick to the most popular characters because they want to get people on the game. That's why they put that damn, what's that dude, Timo or whatever. I don't play League, but I remember when he came out, everybody hated him. I remember people talking about that on social media. There's a reason they put him in this game. It's to get that visceral reaction from League of Legends fans. So they're not gonna just put a bunch of obscure characters in here. That's like saying, oh, they should make Marvel Token without Spider-Man. Like Spider-Man's got to be in a Marvel fighter. But what else I got for ya? Oh. Fans of fans of Ubisoft games. Yo, shout out to Clutch Bucket with the sub. Don't expect Rainbow Six Siege 2. Creative director explains why it's not happening. Rainbow Six Siege celebrated its 10th anniversary this month, which is crazy to say that this game did come out in 2015 for those who forgot. A milestone that many live service games haven't come close to matching. The tactical shooter launched in 2015 and it has evolved into a major attraction at esports tournaments across the globe, reaching 85 million players to date. To keep things fresh, Rainbow Six Siege's most transformative update yet went live earlier this year, prompting a surge of new and veteran players to hop into the game. But will we ever see Rainbow Six Siege 2? Speaking to GameSpot, creative director Alexander doesn't expect a sequel anytime soon, as Ubisoft aims to respect players' investment and keep the current game going for the foreseeable future. And this is the problem with live service games. Even the devs recognize that the players who are involved in these games are involved in sunken cost fallacy. You have accounts that are worth thousands of dollars because they bought all these skins. So if you put out another game, people are gonna get upset that you made another. Wait, I bought all these fucking skins, bro. This is why I fucking hate live service. Live service is corporate greed and it stifles innovation. We should have been had Rainbow Six Siege 2. Should have been had it 5 years ago. But he just admitted we ain't gonna get it anytime soon. All you gonna get is that little goofy ass update with some slightly better lighting. because you guys got all these fucking goofy ass skins, man. Just fucking let them import them skins over or something, dude. Make a new game, Ubisoft. Y'all are poor. They said, honestly, I think there are tons of reasons against it, just like there are reasons for it. Yeah, one of them is they had to put effort forward. That's the quiet part. I'll say it out loud that they won't say it. Another reason these companies like live service games is because why put any effort and brain power and creativity into a new game when we can just keep milking the old one? Niggas want 2K to go live service. They don't realize what they asking for. 2K need to take a break. Honestly, wait. But for us, it's about maintaining something that's been successful and competitive and fun for such a long time. Oh, they're admitting to it. They don't want to make a new game. They said, oh, we got a good thing going here. We see it where players can kind of get the rug pulled out from under them, and everything they've worked towards kind of changes in an instant when they jump over to a sequel. And that's something we won't do to our players. So there's an element of respecting players' investment. It's crazy because if you would have said this 20 years ago to me when I was younger, oh, the reason we're not going to get a trilogy for a game is because the developers don't want to make it. They don't want to upset players. This nigga said, we don't want to make a new game because they have a bunch of skins and it would be really hard for these pro gamers. Because to be honest, the only people who are still playing this shit are sweats. It'd be really hard for the sweatiest people in our community to jump over to the sequel and learn the new controls and abilities in the new game. No, the sweats are going to pick it up the quickest, but they're trying to package this in this corporate nice way to fool you into thinking this is about being pro-consumer. No, this is about not putting any effort for, oh, we don't want to make a new game because we want to respect the fact that you bought all these skins and we don't want people to have to learn new buttons and shit. The fuck up, nigga. Yo, gaming has been around since the late 70s, bruh. And all of a sudden niggas forgot to learn how to play a game. You know, when Jak 1, and you know the crazy, when Jak 1 went to Jak 2, it was a big jump. It was a lot of new things to take in. For some reason, my young ass was able to adapt. I think I'll be able to adapt. It won't be that much different. Get the fuck out of here. They just don't want to spend the money to make a new game. It's crazy because if you make a new game, you'll generate a bunch of money because you're generating hype. It's fucking goofy. So if you're looking forward to it, and it's a shame because to be fair, I was a big fan of Rainbow Six Siege, but for me, I wouldn't even go. I don't know the current state of this game, but me personally, I wouldn't call this game trash. To be fair to Ubisoft, for me, it just ran its course. If you've been in this stream for a while, you know I was on this game hardcore. We played this from 2015 to like 2018 hardcore, and then I played a little bit. I let it linger 2019, but I was pretty much done after like 2019. It just ran its course for me, just like Apex. It ran its course. Matter of fact, Apex came out in 2019, so that's when I started playing. It just ran its course for me, but it was a good game. I'm sick of it. Make a new one. Shit, that's when I found you for real when you started. See? Them Seas nights were gold. Yeah, it was a lot of stupid shit going on. A lot of funny moments. That's facts. I wish Ubisoft would go back to, I wish Ubisoft would remember who they were. We loved you guys because you guys were actually pushing boundaries, man. Fucking unfortunate. Anime related. New Dragon Ball movie may be coming. But Dragon Ball fans who are waiting for the Genkidama oh my god event in January to learn about the latest announcements for the franchise may have just gotten the biggest spoiler possible. And a throwaway comment during the Kosa Kosa podcast, historical Dragon Ball editor Torimisha teased that there is a new movie in the works. His exact words were, "You can look forward to the next Dragon Ball movie," as reported by them on Twitter, who also uploaded the specific clip from the show. So I mean, you know, if you're fans of Dragon Ball, another movie's coming if you care. One second. Some community deserve the way companies treat them. At the end of the day, if they didn't buy that shit that's thrown at them, they wouldn't be getting the slop. No, that's real shit. Rainbow Six Siege lived long enough to become the villain because it started off as a hardcore military tactical shooter, and it's just like it's another Fortnite. They got anime characters running around, busting through walls like SWAT teams and shit. Niggas playing as Goku and Naruto. Like, I don't want to do that. Like, I want to be Jaeger. So we fighting Black Frieza? Who knows what we fighting, but don't be surprised in the next 2 years when they announce something fully. Speaking of an anime, a second season of Tanya's coming. Yeah, I peeped. Definitely going to be checking that out whenever that drops. And who asked for this news? Discussing Films tweeted out the first teaser for the re-release of Avengers Endgame, returning to theaters in September 25th, 2026. This is how you know Marvel is falling off. These niggas is doing greatest hits. Like, hey man, I know our last few movies have been pretty fucking mid, but you guys remember Endgame? They dropped a trailer for a movie we've already seen. They're pulling a Morbius. September is back in theaters. Yeah, they're cooked. Fantastic Four was ass. I haven't seen it. It depends on who you ask. I feel like with the Fantastic Four, there was no in between. People really either loved it or they didn't like it. I didn't personally like it. I'm already not a big Fantastic Four fan, but I felt like that movie was lackluster. It wasn't what it needed to be for me. All forms of media need to learn this lesson: when to let it die. It's better to go out on top. It's better to go out on top. The Last of Us arc. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We're getting remasters of movies.